Yeah, so now I want us to look at could. And this could, mark you, is not the past tense of can. No, 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 no. And that is why you can even see the word could do, meaning it's a present, could go, could see, could read. So it's not like this past tense now, no. So, and then we'll see the past tense. In fact, surprisingly, the past tense of could do is could have done. This is the past tense, could have done. And I want people not to miss classes when we are doing these models, because when we see like may, past tense of may, we'll come and see this may have done. When we come, for example, again, would have done, should have done. So I want us to really pay attention there. So part A is just a repetition of what we did in 26. They're just reminding us that sometimes could is the past of can. See unit 26. That's what we learned the other day. For example, listen, I can hear something. That is now. I listened, I could hear something. That is past. We know that, we did that. But could is not always past. Yes, I told you that. Could is not always past. We also use could for possible actions now, or so we're saying that but could is not always past, like I told you. We also use could for possible actions now or in the future, especially to make suggestions. You know, when making suggestions, for example, what shall we do tonight? And B says, we could go to the cinema. We could go there. Could means we could that's a possibility. Possible actions that we could go to the cinema. When you go to Paris next month, you could stay with Sarah. You could stay with Sarah. I mean, it's possible. Yes, I suppose I could. Could I come in? Could I ask a question? You see that? You see that? So could in that case is not past. And when I say, could I ask a question? You can also say, can I ask a question? We can go to the cinema. We could go. So in that case, can is also possible in these sentences. We can go to the cinema, but although you are saying can and could are almost the same, when I use could, it is like it is a bit less sure. It's a bit less sure. Where is Abdullah Famajo now, if I may ask you guys? And Yaya says he could be in Mogadishu. You know, when you say he could be, it is like, yes, there's a possibilities in Mogadishu now, but a bit less sure about that. So when you use the word could, you're only giving the possibility of him being there, but you are not so sure about that. Okay, but you're giving the possibility. Who is going to win next year's election? Maybe Abdul Fattah could win, by the way. Yeah, he could win. But you see, I'm not sure. I'm only giving my possibility. Now, we also use could, not can, for actions that are not realistic. So although we are saying that could and can are almost like the same, having the same meaning, we have now seen that could can be used for things that you are less sure about it. Also, could can be used for things that are imaginary, things which are not real. They are not realistic. For example, look at this man. The man says, I'm so tired. I could sleep for a week. Imagine, even if you're so tired, are you able to sleep for a whole week? So, not I can sleep for a week, because when you say can, it's real. So can is for real things. Could you can also use for things which are imaginary. Like you meet Abdullah. Abdullah says, I am very hungry. I could eat an elephant. Well, he might really be very hungry, but even if he's so hungry, Can he really eat a whole elephant? No. What he actually means is that he's actually very hungry. When he says, I'm so tired, I could sleep for a week, it doesn't mean that he can really sleep for a whole week. It is just only meaning that this man is really tired. Okay? Yes. You know, yeah, he's a strong man. Eh? He can carry 200 kilos of sugar from Mogadishu up to Halfway. Yes, walking. Yes, he could. So that doesn't really mean he can really do that. The thing is only that he's only showing that he's a really strong man. So could is actually used for things which are not what? Realistic. And the reason for using could is just to show that only, well, this person is really like that, but not that he can really do that. So could, yeah. This place is so nice, eh? You know, Basas is a very nice place. You could stay there for 50 years. You could even stay there forever. But anyway, it's only saying, can you really stay there forever? No. So it's only showing that that place is very nice. So compare can and could now. I can stay with Sarah when I go to Paris. So when you say I can stay, it's realistic, it's possible. Maybe I could stay with Sarah when I go to Paris. Here it's also possible, but it is less sure. So the idea of using could brings the idea of that you are not very sure. This is a wonderful place. I could stay here forever. It's not realistic, isn't it? It's not realistic. Yeah. The thing is only that to show that the place is really nice, but it's not that really you can stay there forever. So the use of could is just to show that it's a very nice place, but it's not really forever. Now, we also use a could, not can, to say that something is possible now or in the future. Possible now or in the future. For example, the story could be true, but I don't think it is. I don't know what time Lisa is coming. She could get here at any time. You know, I'm told the former president used to have used to eat 15 times in a day. 15 times in a day. Okay, it could be true. So when I say it could be true, it could. It shows it's possible. Yeah, but you cannot say it can be true. When you say can, it shows sure it. So it could simply shows it is possible. Okay, it could be true, by the way. We'll come and see later. You can also say it might be true. It may be true. They're all the same. So could, that is now where could, may, and might are the same. It may be true. It could be true. It might be true. So they are the same. We'll come and see that. Compare can and could. The weather can change very quickly in the mountains. When I say the weather can change, it's in general. It can change, by the way. The weather is now nice, but it could change later. Means the weather now, not in general. So here, when talking about the weather, when you say it could change, it's only in a particular situation, isn't it? The weather is nice now, but it could change. So I'm referring to the weather that we have now. But when I say the weather can change very quickly in the mountains, I'm talking about generally what happens. Generally what happens. Yeah. Now, the past tense of could is always what? Could have. We use could have done to talk about the past. I am so tired, I could sleep for a week. That is now. I was so tired last week, I could have slept for a week. That is the past tense. The situation is bad, but it could be worse. Past tense, the situation was bad, it could have been worse. So could have been is the could have plus the participle is the past tense of could have. So when you say something could have happened, that means it was possible, but of course it did not happen. I didn't have bus fare yesterday. And you know what Amina will tell me? Sorry, you could have called me. She says now you could have called me to show something that was supposed to happen really, but did it happen? No, because I didn't call her. So she says you could have called, you could have done this, you could have, many a times you tell people things that you went through in the past, and they feel like they want to give you an option that was possible, but of course it never happened. I was in Lesanut last week on Friday. Ah. And then Yaya says, on Friday. Imagine I was there. You could have called me. So of course I didn't know. So of course I didn't call him. And then I went to another place called Garaway. I stayed for 2 days. And you know what? Shams will say, you mean you went Garaway on Friday? Oh, you could have called. She says you could have called. Of course, she says that is what was supposed to happen really, but of course it never happened. So when you say could have happened, could have done, it is something that was possible, but of course it did not happen. Yeah. You know, if many MPs voted very well in your election last month, you know, that guy could have won. Yeah, Famajo could have won. Only example, I'm not talking real things. Yeah, Famajo could have won. Why am I saying could have won? Of course, it was possible for him to win, but of course, it never happened. Yeah, yeah. So why did you stay at the hotel? You could have stayed with me. So the question is, did this man stay with that person? No. It was possible, but this person did not stay with that person. David was lucky. He could have hurt himself when he fell, but he's all right. So did he hurt himself? No. But you are saying it was possible, but of course it never happened. It never happened. It never happened. Yes. So every time you say you could have done, you could have called me, you could have come, you could have, yes, it means this was possible to happen, but of course it never happened. Many things in life are like that. When you meet with people, some people tell you things that happened in the past and you're like, oh, you had a party last week on Friday. You could have told me. So when you say I could have told you, yeah, so we continue. We continue. So something could have happened means it never happened. It was possible to happen, but of course it did not happen. Now, but then the negative now, we have seen the past tense. What about the negative? I couldn't do something. It means it would not be possible. I couldn't live in a big city. I would hate it. Okay? So that means it would not be possible. Everything is fine right now. Things couldn't be better. Now, a very good example of this situation is, of course, Zainab. There was a job that was in Afghanistan last year. A very good job. I forgot to inform you, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to inform you. It was in Afghanistan, Kunduz province. Sorry, Zainab, I forgot to tell you that. But Zainab will tell me, no. Even if you had told me, I couldn't go. Why is she saying I couldn't go? Or past tense, I couldn't have gone. I couldn't have gone. That means even if you told me that thing was not going to be possible, I couldn't have gone. Why? Because that time fighting was tough. I couldn't have gone. Oh, Amina, you are getting married last week on Saturday. Oh, we didn't know that. Yes. But anyway, even I was busy even that time also. I wasn't around. So even if you had told me, I couldn't have come. I couldn't have come. That means it was not going to be possible even if you had told me that. Okay. Why? Because I was away. So I couldn't have come. I couldn't have come. So for the past tense, we use couldn't have. That means would not have been possible. For example, we had a really good holiday. It couldn't have been better. It couldn't have been better. So that's the negative. The present is I couldn't do. Past tense, I couldn't have done. Yes. You were not there yesterday. You missed a very big cake. Yeah, you missed a cake yesterday. But I didn't know Yaya does not eat cakes. Yaya says, even if I was there, I could not have eaten the cake. Why? I don't eat cakes. Oh, that means even if you were there, it was not possible. It would not have been possible, isn't it? Yeah. So sorry guys, even if I was there, I could not have eaten. I couldn't have eaten because I don't eat cakes. I couldn't have eaten. Yeah, so not that I couldn't do something as two meanings. Couldn't, it will not be possible now. I couldn't run 10 kilometers now. I'm not fit enough. Is present. Also, when you say I couldn't, meaning I was not able. I couldn't run yesterday because I had hurt my leg. Remember, couldn't is like also couldn't have run also same. So in short, we have learned something that could is the past tense of can, but not all the times. We can also use could. We can also use could, especially for saying or talking about possible actions. Maybe now we could go, or in the future, we could go next week. Though the meaning is almost like saying can, but when I use could, the meaning is less sure. Another difference again between could and can is that could can be used for things which are not real, for imaginations, but can is only for real things. Okay? Yep. So it could be true. It could be right. He could be right, but you cannot use can in that situations. And then when I say can, it's for general things. Could is for this situation. The weather is nice now, but it could change. So I'm referring to the weather, the one I'm talking about now. The past tense of could, I could go is I could have gone, I could have eaten, I could have. But the thing is that those are things that never happened. We're only showing that they were possible to happen, but never happened, The negative is I couldn't have, okay? Yes. Present, I couldn't do, okay? Negative past tense, I couldn't have done. So that is what we have for that part.